Good evening, all. I want to first of all thank you for believing and trusting that I can actually teach you, or you have something to learn from the postulations I made about the general concept of life, most especially when it comes to finance. And I made you understand that the only solution there is nothing more than financial intelligence. Nothing more than financial intelligence. There is no other way out other than financial intelligence. So that is the basic reason why you need to be financially literate, and because it is your key to your freedom on this earth. If you can see from the picture, it shows someone who has been bounded. So the difference between you and your dreams is this chain. And as you can see, there is no other person beside you who would come to unbound you from those chains. So the key to unbounding yourself or to your freedom relies on you. The key is with you and nobody else. It is not the government, it is not your employer, it is not your parents, it is not your spouse, it is not your relatives, it is not the country you're coming from, it is not your religion, it is not your ethnicity, it is not your prayers. The only key is financial intelligence. And that is why you need to be financially literate so that you can progress in this life, achieve or live a life of your dreams, and equally become a change maker in the society. So we are going to teach, we are going to study or discuss financial literacy by considering the 6 basic principles of life, or the 6 lessons of life. If you are able to learn about these 6 lessons, then you would achieve anything you want to achieve. All those dreams you've ever had of achieving, you will do that if you pay attention, learn about these lessons, and apply them. So at the cost of discussing financial literacy or understanding the concept of financial literacy, we are going to look at lesson 1, which is the rich don't work for money. You know, the poor and the middle class are the ones who work for money and thereby make themselves become slaves to money. Whereas, on the other hand, the rich have their money work for them. And the second lesson is the reason why financial literacy is important. Why teach financial literacy? The answer is, it is not how much money you make. It is all about how much money you are able to keep. So how can you make the money and be able to keep it? That is what you will learn under lesson 2. And then for lesson 3, it says, mind your business, mind your own business. You know, the rich normally focus on their asset columns, while everyone else focuses on their income statements. And that is a distinction between the rich and the poor/middle class. So you are going to learn how to mind your own business and focus on your own asset columns, or develop your asset columns, channeling yourself towards abundant wealth. And then for lesson 4, it is the history of taxes and the power of corporations. You will get to understand how the rich played the game smart by doing it through corporations, because that is one of the biggest secrets of the rich. For lesson 5, we are going to see how the rich invent money. You know, often in the real world, it is not the smart who get ahead, but those who have boldness. And then for lesson 6, you are going to learn about this principle, work to learn and don't work for money. Because job security meant everything to my educated dad. but learning meant everything to my rich dad. Just picture yourself as having a rich dad and an educated dad who is poor. One of them is concerned about job security and the other one is concerned about learning. The learning aspect is what we are going to treat under this lesson 6. After treating life lessons, we would also look at how you can get started. You would understand the basic 10 powers of each and every human being. All these 10 powers are powers that you have, but if you don't know that they exist and if you don't know how to use them, you will not get ahead. You know, there is gold everywhere, but most people are not trained to see it. So the reason why you are here is for you to get trained so that you can be able to see gold even where other people are not seeing. We would look at the first power, that is the power of spirit. You have to find a reason that is greater than reality. And the second one is power of choice. All those daily choices you make, how to make them, and how to make decisions that would have a positive impact on your life. The third one is the power of association, how to choose your friends. The fourth one is the power of learning quickly. You get to understand how to master a formula and then you learn a new one. And the fifth one is the power of self-discipline. You will learn how to pay yourself first, because one of the fundamental principles of nature is self-preservation. Then the sixth one is power of advice, where you will learn how to pay your brokers well. Then the seventh one is power of getting something for nothing. You will learn about the Indian giver. The eighth one is the power of focus, how to use your assets to buy luxuries. And then the ninth one is the power of myth, how to choose your heroes. Then the 10th one is the power of giving. Whenever you teach, you will always receive. So that is the basic structure of our course of study under this financial literacy. So we are going to get started with the first fundamental lesson of financial literacy. The first fundamental lesson of financial literacy. And that fundamental lesson is that the rich don't work for money. The poor and the middle class are the people who normally work for money. But as for the rich, they have their money work for them. So how do you understand how your money works for you? It is very, very, very key and important for you to understand the distinction, because this is what this is one of the things that differentiates the person who is poor or under the middle class from the person who is rich. So basically, there are things you need to understand. Life is the best teacher of all. Most of the time, life does not talk to you. It just sort of pushes you around. Each push is life saying, wake up. There's something I want you to learn. School only teaches you through talking and lectures. But life in itself is the best teacher. So if you learn life lessons, you will do well for yourself. If you don't, life will just continue to push you around. People do things. People basically do two things. Some just let life push them around, and then others get angry and push back. But they push back against their boss, or their job, or their husband, or their wife, or their president, or their country, any other thing. What they don't know is that it is life that is pushing. And whenever life is pushing, it is saying, wake up, wake up, wake up. There is something I want you to learn. And that is to tell you that the basic thing for you to move ahead is to always learn. Life pushes all of us around. Some people give up and others fight. A few learn the lesson and move on. To these few people who learn their lesson and move on, it means they need and want to learn something. They learn and they move on. If you learn this lesson, you will grow into a wise, wealthy, and happy young man. If you don't, you will spend your entire life blaming a job, a low pay, or your boss for your problems. You will live life always hoping that big break that will solve all your money problems will come. You'll be waiting for that miracle, but that miracle will never come because your miracle is yourself, because you have the power to make things happen for yourself. And if you are just waiting for when any spiritual or any good luck to happen to you, there is nothing like luck. The key for your fundamental freedom, the financial freedom, is yourself. If you are a kind of a person who has no guts, you just give up every time life pushes you. If you are that kind of a person, you will live all your life playing it safe. No, I don't want to make mistakes. Doing the right thing, saving yourself for some events that would never happen. Then you die a boring old man. You will have a lot of friends who really like you because you are such a nice, hardworking person. But the truth is that you let life push you into submission. True learning takes energy, passion, and a burning desire. Anger is a part of that formula. For passion and anger, and for passion is anger and love combined. The word passion is anger and love combined. When you see things that are going wrong in the society, you get angry about them, and it develops your passion to make change. And then the other one, which is love, there are things you see in the society, you observe that are so enticing and you want to have them. So putting those things that get you angry and those things that you love together forms your passion. So when it comes to money, most people want to play it safe and feel secure. So passion does not direct them. Fear does, and it is fear that runs their life. It's fear that keeps most people working at a job. The fear of not paying their bills, the fear of being fired, the fear of not having enough money, and the fear of starting over. That's the price of studying to learn a profession or trade and then working for money. Most people become a slave to money and they get angry at their boss. You know, one of the problems is coming from our school system, because school normally produces employees rather than employers. They just teach you to study, get out there and get a job, stick up your life there. Before you know, you are stuck in the trap. So learning how to make money work for you is a lifetime study, because the more you find out, the more you would find out you need to know. That is the interesting part about it. Most people go to the college for 4 years and their education ends. They go to work, get their paycheck, balance their checkbooks, and that's all. Then they wonder why they have money problems. They think that more money will solve the problem and don't realize that it's their lack of financial education that is the problem. They think if I have more money, if I get a raise in pay, if I get an extra job, if I work extra shift, if I work night shift, if I work in 2 places or 3 places, I will get more money that will solve my problems. But the more you work, you find out that the more you are getting so stuck into the trap. So every person has a weak and a needy part of their soul that can be bought. And every individual also has a part of their soul that is resilient and could never be bought. It is only a question of which one is stronger. Most people have a price, and they have a price because of human emotions named fear and greed. Another word for greed there is desire. Because of your ignorance, fear would develop. And because of that fear, you see yourself having desire to have things, or having some kind of greed for certain things, and you want to get them. But because of your ignorance, you are afraid, and therefore you will just conform to what you see the majority of people are doing, and you will get yourself also trapped. in the whole thing. So first, the fear of being without money motivates us to work hard. And then once we get that paycheck, greed or desire makes us to start thinking about all the wonderful things that money can buy. The pattern is then set. The pattern of get up, go to work, pay your bills, get up, go to work, pay your bills, continuous cycling. Offer them more money and then you continue the cycle by increasing their spending. This is basically what is called the rat race. You wake up early in the morning. At times, you even feel so tired. You feel as if you have your way, you will not go to work. But something deep inside you is still telling you that, no, you have to go to work. That fear is what is talking to you, that, no, you have to go to work, even though you know that something is wrong. It's not just okay for you to just wake up and start going to work. But you feel because you are having fear, you won't have money if you don't go to that work. Then you get so trapped because the cycle will continue. You wake up, you go to work, your money then gets drained through paying your bills. And that's how you continue stressing yourself and living a life of complaints and regrets. That is basically what is called the rat race. And that is where most poor people, all the poor people and middle class people are stuck. Fear keeps them in this trap of working, earning money, hoping the fear will go away. But every day they get up and that old fear wakes up with them. For millions of people, that old fear keeps them awake all night, causing a night of turmoil and worry. So they get up and go to work, hoping that a paycheck will kill that fear, now being at their soul. Money is running their lives and nothing else. And they refuse to tell themselves the truth about that. Money is in control of their emotions and their souls. Money, because what drives them is that money, that fear that if they don't go out to work, they will not get money. So being rich does not solve the problem. The reason many rich people are rich isn't because of desire, but simply because of fear. They believe that money can eliminate the fear of being poor. So they amass tons of it, only to find the fear gets worse. Now they fear losing the money. Some rich men keep working even though they have plenty money. They are more afraid now than when they were poor. The fear that drove them to get rich gets worse. If you don't first handle fear and desire and you get rich, you will only be a highly paid slave. That is the meaning. So you can understand that you can be poor and be trapped in the rat race, and you can still be rich and trapped in the rat race. So it is not about the money, but the passion at which you made the passion behind you making that money is a very fundamental thing that you need to consider before getting into that track. And secondly, it's perfectly normal to desire something better, prettier, more fun, more exciting. So people also go for money because of desire. They desire money for the joy they think it can buy, but the joy that money brings is often short-lived, and they soon need more money for more joy, more pleasure, more comfort, and more security. So they keep working, thinking money will soothe their souls that are troubled by fear and desire, but money cannot do that. That is what they don't understand. The word emotion stands for energy in motion. Be truthful about your emotions and use your mind and emotions in your favor, not against you. Just be an observer, not a reactor to your emotions. Most people do not know that it's their emotions that are doing the thinking. Your emotions are your emotions, but you have got to learn to do your own thinking. For instance, when a person says, I need to find a job, it is most likely an emotion doing the thinking. The fear of not having money generates that thought. So the reason why you need to be financially literate is to know how to control those emotions of fear and desire, because those are the things that get you stuck in this cankerworm of poverty. Education and job will not stop the fear. It is out of fear that most poor and middle-class parents recommend their children go to school in order to graduate and secure a good job. The best solution is to master the power of money. instead of being afraid of it. They don't teach that in school. And if you don't learn it, you become a slave to money and you just live a miserable life all through your life period on earth. The main cause of poverty or financial struggle is fear and ignorance. This word, fear and ignorance. Because once you are ignorant, if you don't know, definitely this fear will be created in you. So your problem is not the economy, it is not the government, it is not rich people, it is not your own country, it is not your background, it is not your religion. It is your ignorance which has been creating fear in you that is driving you to work for money and become a slave for money. So it is self-inflicted fear and ignorance that keep people trapped in poverty. We will always have emotions of fear and greed. From here on in, it's imperative for you to use those emotions in your advantage and for the long time to not let your emotions control your thinking. Most people use fear and greed against themselves. That's the start of ignorance. Because most of these poor people and the middle class people you are seeing in society, they are using their emotions against themselves. They are using their fear and greed to get themselves trapped. Whereas on the other hand, the rich man uses those emotions in his favor to develop wealth for himself and thereby have control of his life. A human life is a struggle between ignorance and illumination or brightness. Once a person stops searching for information and self-knowledge, ignorance sets in. So you remember I said it is ignorance that causes this fear. And the reason why you can be ignorant is because you have stopped searching for information and self-knowledge. The moment you stop learning, that is when ignorance starts coming in. And in the society we are living in, before you can get to the top, you have to always learn. Because it is not all about how much you have already learned, but the secret is always around what you don't know. That is why you need to keep learning. In order to develop yourself as a human being, to clear that ignorance, you would learn so that that illumination or that brightness or that light, that's the other side of you that is bright, would manifest itself and your light will shine in the world and make an impact or a change in the society. So once a person stops searching for information and self-knowledge, that is the beginnings of ignorance. School is very important. You go to school to learn a skill or profession to become a contributing member of the society. Every culture needs teachers, doctors, mechanics, artists, cooks, lawyers, business people, police officers, firefighters, soldiers, and so many other fields. Schools train them so the society can thrive and flourish. Unfortunately, for many people, school is the end, not the beginning. They don't know that there is something far, 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 far beyond achieving success through the normal school system that we've been taught. So always remember this thought. Fear and desire can lead you into life's biggest trap, poverty, if you are not aware of them controlling your thinking. To spend your life living in fear, never exploring your dreams is so cruel. It is you being so cruel to yourself. To work hard for money, thinking that it will buy you things that will make you happy is also cruel. To wake up in the middle of the night, terrified about paying bills, is a horrible way to live life. To live a life dictated by the size of a paycheck that is given to you by the government or your employer is not really living a life. You are just suffering. Thinking that a job makes you secure is lying to yourself. That's cruel, and that's the trap I want you to avoid. I've seen how money runs people's lives. Don't let that happen to you. Please don't let money run your life. It is ignorance about money that causes so much greed and fear. Let me give you some examples. You know, a doctor wanting money, a doctor wanting more money to better provide for his family, raises his professional fees. By raising his fees, it makes healthcare more expensive for everyone. It hurts the poor people the most, so they have worse health issues than those with money. Because the doctor raises their fees, the attorneys raise their fees. Because the attorneys' fees have gone up, school teachers want a raise, which raises our taxes, and on and on and on. So there will be such a horrifying gap between the rich and the poor that chaos will break out and another great civilization will collapse. History proves that great civilizations collapse when the gap between the haves and the have-not is too great. In an educated society with a well-run government, prices of commodities, services should actually come down. Of course, that is often only true in theory. Prices go up every day, every year because of greed and fear caused by our ignorance. If schools taught people about money, there would be more money and lower prices. But schools focus only on teaching people to work for money, not how to harness money's power. That is the trap that school has put a lot of people in the society into. The school teaches you to work for money and get trapped, not to use money to work for you. But you learning about this financial literacy, you will discover a lot of things that will change your life. And the people in the society that are living in poverty and living as middle-class persons or suffering from financial challenges, it is all because of their greed and fear that is caused by their ignorance. So once you learn about financial literacy, you will find out that your eyes would be widely open, and what the majority, 99% of other persons on earth are not seeing, you will be seeing them, and you'll be able to progress and live the life of your dreams. So confronting fear, weaknesses, and neediness by choosing our own thoughts is the way out. Choosing what we think rather than reacting to our emotions. Instead of just getting up and going to work because not having the money to pay your bills is scaring you, ask yourself, is working harder at this the best solution to this problem? Most people are too afraid to rationally think things through and instead run out the door to a job they hate. The tar baby, money is in control. That's what choosing your thoughts means. You know, when you wake up early in the morning, you should be able to choose what you should do, what you should think, how your life should go on. Or when you just suddenly wake up and you just get afraid that if I don't go out and work for money, I will not be able to pay my bills, then you have get yourself so trapped in this thing called poverty. So you have to confront your fears and your weaknesses. You have to be the one to choose your own thoughts because the key is in your hands. You have the power to do that. Nobody is in control of your own thoughts. You have to be in control of your own thoughts. The rich know that money is just an illusion, truly like a carrot for the donkey, only out of fear and greed that the illusion of money is held together by billions of people who believe that money is real. It is not. Money is really made up. It is created. It is only because of the illusion of confidence and the ignorance of the masses that this house of cards stands, that this generational poverty stands. It is because of the ignorance of the masses, because they believe that money is real, so everybody is chasing after money. They don't know that you can create wealth on your own because God has given you that natural ability to create wealth for yourself. So, but a lot of them miss the track by working for money and get themselves trapped in poverty. Money is not real. It is something that is invented. It is created. The rich people, they create money because they understand the concept. Don't think that they have two heads. Don't think that they are super angels. Don't think that they are genius. You are a genius, your own self. It is only when you don't know the truth that you will limit yourself. But there is nothing impossible for you to achieve if you really know your power and how to use them. The sooner you forget about needing a paycheck, the easier your adult life will be. Keep using your brain, work for free, and soon your mind will show you ways of making money far beyond what an employer will ever pay you. Remember this thing. The sooner you forget about working for money, getting that paycheck from your employer, the easier your life will start moving. Because now, henceforth, you will start using your brain. Any work that you do, you will work for free because you are working to learn and not to earn. And soon your mind will show you the ways of making money beyond what the government or an employer or your parents can give you. You can achieve any extent of wealth that you can dream of. You will see things that other people never see. Most people never see these opportunities because they are looking for money and security. So that's all they get. The money you see, the moment you see one opportunity, you will see them for the rest of your life. The moment you do that, I will teach you something else. So learn this, learn this, learn this, and you would avoid one of the life's biggest trap, poverty. Learn about this principle, that the rich don't work for money. They use their money to work for them. Whereas the poor work for money. And that is why they are trapped in this poverty. By starting your own business, you will be in control of your own finances, not dependent on an employer or any other person. Your business will generate money for you, even when you are not physically there. This means your money has worked for you, because subsequently, in our subsequent lessons, you will get to understand how to specifically use your money to work for you and how you can get out of this trap of poverty known as the rat race. I believe you've enjoyed this first lesson, so you stay tuned for other subsequent lessons about life. Once you have a general understanding of the concept of financial literacy, you will see limitless opportunities in front of you, regardless of who you are, where you're coming from, or any other form of limitation you have connected or feel is connected to yourself in the past. So thank you, and stay tuned for lesson 2.